Yeah, so we're continuing with yesterday's stream, and yesterday we created these building blocks for our city. Now today let's create a terrain for this where our city is going to sit, and I think is we can start with the water surface, and again that is usually the easiest thing. Just start with a vector bump map and then a noise map or noise texture. Make sure that my shortcuts are on. Shortcuts. Connect the factor to the height. Hello, Gutam. How are you doing? How's your Friday? Or is it Saturday? That side. Hello, Zigzag. How are you doing? What's up? Okay, so let's make the water shader. So I want to get the same blue they have there. So bluish like that. Let me see if I can see the displacement. Okay, something like that. Very reflective. Somewhere like that. And we're going to use a few things here. I'm going to use an input layer weight because we want the water to look differently at different angles. So for now, just play with this. I'm just going to get a color mix RGB. By the way, I have a new course that is yet to be published. I'm working on. So if you are interested, you can subscribe just so to get turn on notification, and yeah, the course will be available on Blender Market and maybe even on Udemy if you want to check it out. Anyway, so we're creating this water shader, just waiting for it to compile here. So the water I want to be a bit greenish in some areas, maybe darker blue, so it kind of makes it look deep. Now that's going to be our water. Now for the terrain, we can do a few things. I'm just going to start with a plane like this, put it underneath this. I'm going to use sculpt, and I'm going to sculpt the terrain to look something similar to this. Hello, Raj the Gamer, how are you doing? Glad to see you. How is your Friday? So I've turned on Dynotop so that I can simply sculpt in the detail like that. Let me see. So our camera is supposed to be around here. So this is like some island. Let me increase the strength just a bit. And maybe around here. Something like that. Let me go back to object mode just so we can set up our camera to be around here. I'm just going to also let me select all of these and have them in a collection called extras. But the camera should be in the collection. So I want to set up this, reposition my camera at 25mm, change the aspect ratio 1080, but I really want a very wide, maybe 200 for this, 200 for the X. I can scale the water just like that. Now this doesn't have to be. Just bring the camera view. And scale this water to be, maybe can also come back in. I'm not only learning Blender from you, but also how to be consistent. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's how you beat the game. Just consistency. I think I can also start working on the materials for this. So I'm just going to create a new material and just get a texture. Let's use our texture folder add-on to look for some ground and rock textures. I think we can start with this. Most of it is not going to show because it's going to be covered by these buildings. Let's create a PBR shader for this. This has to be UV unwrapped. And we're already seeing some nice. Yeah. So this is our starting point. And I'm going to go to my, I think it's under my, let me just link in that library. So libraries and Megascans. I have some Megascan assets that we can use. Actually, under the asset library, I want to get some Megascans. I have some rocks that we can use that I think would fit this terrain. So we're going to use some of these to create the terrain that we want. So let's first I'm going to add this here. So we have some rock detail. Something like that. Duplicate it. I can grab this piece here. Maybe have that around there. So we're just going to use a lot of these pieces because that's where all our buildings are going to be. And to make these look different, we can scale them, rotate them, or something like that. Just have this duplicated in the back there. Hello Mafia, how are you doing? Okay, something like that. Now we can start placing the different building parts. And I'm also going to add a sun. Good morning. Hello Rizo AR. Glad to see you. Let's turn on some lights here. Let's try 10. And one way to simulate that this is a really large area, if you have shadows being cast on the surface of the area that you are creating, so just going to create a very large plane like this. Maybe make it thin in some way, because what I want is to have some of these pieces to be in the shadow, some of the water area to be in the shadow, like what you see they did here. It kind of helps simulate the cloud effect, or it helps simulate clouds. Let me also come to my camera and change the end clip distance a bit. It's like clouds. Yeah. Thank you, Cactus. Yeah, so let's start adding in the different things we created yesterday in the previous live stream. So if you're not around in the previous live stream, you can go to the link in the chart. Let me just paste it here for you, and take a look at what we did at the previous stream is there, and I'll also be adding more details about what we did. Yeah, so let's use Shift A collection instance. Let's get tower 1 here and start placing this tower somewhere. So we can put it somewhere there. One other thing I could do is hello, Cash Live FF. Glad to see you back. One thing we can do is have these domes look a bit different on every duplicate. And start with this. I can also have, I think we have, let's see. We have this dome part as well. Can have it there. And another piece I think I could use is let me see. Let me first see. Yeah, another piece I could use is this ring here. So let me find. Let me see if I could find the collection. So this is tower. This is tower 4. So let me go to that tower collection. Yeah. So this piece here, I want this piece separate as its own object. So P, and I will just. Okay, let me make sure I just first duplicate it and then P origin to geometry and add it into the extras. Now I can shut off the tower. Where are you from? I'm from Uganda. That's in East Africa. Okay, so the reason I created that is because I want to use that. Actually, let me go to my what is it called? Extras here. So this piece here, I'm just going to just set it to the center like this. Give it its own collection, call it platform, because it's much easier to reuse if it's an instance than then I can disable it, disable the extras. Now it can be much easier to reuse it, as I can just access it under. Hello, Hamant Sudha. How are you doing? So I can just reuse it here. Platform. I just look for platform, and there it is. I just align it to this piece. So if I scale it here, maybe mirror it on the Z, I can create a nice platform. Like this. Do you use Pinterest for reference images? Most of the time I just go to ArtStation, and if you use exclamation mark website, you can see the reference images that I'm using for this. So we can also, I think we created a wall. Let's see, it's tower 2. That's exactly what we have here. We have pentagon. Yeah, this piece here can be reused. Maybe as a piece that connects to the ground. Maybe make it a bit taller. And we have a tower like that. Now it doesn't match the shape that we have here, but I don't think that is going to matter too much. So this is what we have, and the great thing about this is that now we can just grab all the pieces we have put together like this, have them into a new collection, call this tower maybe 4. Hopefully I don't have a tower 4 here. Okay, it seems that I do. So I'm just going to rename this F2, rename this to tower 5. Tamale Moses and Stephen Birimunda, what's up? I'm fine, man. How are you? Ganja Farmer, hi to everyone. What's good? Everything is high, man. Okay, so we have a tower here, and since we have turned it into a collection, we can use it as an instance. So tower 5, and because it's offset, we're going to have that issue. So, but that shouldn't be a big problem. I want this to be around here, and I'm also going to move my camera just down a bit and have it, maybe push it in the back like that. I'm also going to grab this piece, scale it really large like that. Maybe even give this a slight rotation like that. Let's bring another tower. Maybe we can have another tower here. This one is going to be much longer or much taller. Like that. Yeah, the rocks are from Quickso Megascan. You treat really good. Thank you, Sutha. So I'm also going to grab this piece here. Let's see. Yeah, so this piece, turn it into tower 6. So that I can just instance Shift A. Where are my instances? Shift A, collection instance, tower 6. Just start placing these in different places. Something like that. Let's add another collection instance, a tower, maybe somewhere here. And then we can also start bringing some of these closer. And we don't want them to be floating. We can have them on a rock surface. Hello, Yadav. How are you doing? Do something like that. Also, let me change my aspect ratio again to make it even wider. So 250, something like that. And maybe just change this to 45 millimeter and just push it back. I want to be able to see some of that water, so maybe I can just bring this up. Of course, another thing we can add, what is the plane in the background? What is the plane in the background? You mean this here? This is just to simulate the shadows. You can see when I move these, actually I want these to be somewhere like that. And it's supposed to simulate shadows. And if I turn these lights on, you can see how those shadows are being added to the scene. There may be some of these can be a bit bigger, like that. So it's like clouds casting shadows in the scene. Okay, so let's go to another collection, get another collection. Have this dome. And we can have a very large dome. I'm just going to grab this piece. I duplicate it. Maybe just want to create some kind of structure, and maybe this is a larger piece. Maybe I can duplicate, I think this, Shift D. Make sure that is not into the scale it up, and I want it to be different, 4 different pieces that make up the main, I don't know, mosque or something, whatever these are. And I think we have a wall, and what was it? Under my extras, see what we have in the extras. Yeah, we have this wall. So I'm going to do, let me move all my instances, my extras to this side so that I can easily access them. So in the extras, we have a few of these walls, and what I want is this here. So I'm going to use Alt D to duplicate it and just add it here. Just scale it. And so, it's the piece that is going to connect our buildings. And I think what I need to do is make sure that it's filled on this side. Like that. Because I wanted to make, let me first hide. I wanted to make some steps. Maybe you can grab this piece. So I want this to make steps. Alt D, like this. So something like that. And you can already see that we are getting some nice detail from this. And then I can duplicate this, scale it down, get my dome, and have it on here. I have also other buildings of this style in my, is it building parts collection? I think it's in my medieval collection. No, I think it's in my building parts. And this piece can also work somewhere. Maybe just adjust the materials a bit. So this black here, this material here, could be a small brick like that. Can also add in these flags somewhere. And you can see how things are starting to shape. And I can also grab this piece so we can have maybe some kind of bridge like this. I can use the array modifier to just extend this bridge like that, and I can add. Yo, thank you for subscribing, Xavier. Listen, maybe you could add noise, texture, and some transparency to those planes. Yeah, I think we can do that. But so for now, I just want to first concentrate on creating the piece here, the buildings, and then come back. Thank you, Felipe Sandrat, for subscribing. Please make a tutorial on character modeling. Yeah, I'm not very good at character modeling, man. That's why I don't really do it. Yes, love the bridge. Good. Okay, I'm just going to grab this Audi, paste it in here, and maybe even make the bridge a bit larger like this. Add an array. Let's see. Let's do constant offset 10, maybe 20 meters. Hello, Samson Pirai. How are you? Hello, Mawin Atkas. How are you? And let's play with the sun a bit. I think something like that. We still need to add these walls. Let me see if I get. I think I can use this wall to create a nice piece that we could use here. So I can duplicate this. Actually, let me isolate this for a second. You know, I think I have a better wall. I'm just forgetting where that wall is. Was this? Actually, I think that's what this. I can use this. Let me first. You know, I have a lot of detail. Do you post your streams? Yes, I do. I do. Just type in exclamation mark website, and that should take you where I post the finished renders. And I'm going to grab this piece here, have it here, maybe somewhat like that, and let's look for more pieces to use. Let's use more stuff. Yeah, so this here, we have a lot of pieces here that we could use. I can grab this piece here and just use it. Use it somewhere. Just a piece like this. Maybe duplicate it so we have it going in like that. And I also have this piece here because these walls are not really detailed as much as I want. Just going to grab this material, this piece here, just add it in like that. Use the same material here and maybe here. Just to make this, give this an extra layer of detail like that. Let's get tower 6. Tower 6. Just put it somewhere in the back like that. I'm going to grab this piece here. Let me first hide this, add this piece. It's a nice detail though, but I think we can add it somewhere here. It should have the same materials as everything else. Like that. And you can see how things are starting to shape. Can grab this piece here. It's another piece that I created in a previous live stream. Add it in here. And maybe even reuse it somewhere here. But I think this top part is well designed. Maybe something like this. Maybe we can get rid of this. Make sure this is using the same material like that. And now we can bring back our dome and just place it on top of this. Something like, to have something like that. We can even duplicate these. So we have a few of these pieces like that. Now, what we are lacking is some volumetric fog. So let's do that. Let me go to my skies and use a sky texture. I'm going to use make it somewhere like that. Let's try using an environment map and just grab an HDRI image. Let me use my resources, skies, just get a nice sky to use. The issue with this sky is that it's not high resolution enough for what I want, but I guess that's okay. Do you save your assets as USD? It's pretty good in Blender. Well, because I make my assets within Blender, I just save them as a Blender file. It doesn't matter because the Blender file for, if you're using the assets in Blender, then the blend format is the best format to export them in. Now we can get some of these pieces, maybe this here. Shift D, just start placing some of these. Actually, I think one thing I forgot is that we have this piece here, which we could have used there. Maybe scale this down. So you can see how we end up with a nice Persian building. So I think I'm going to go back to Tower 4 and make a few changes to this dome. So this is, where is Tower 4, Tower 4, Tower 4, Tower 4. The original collection. Now what, I can just add a new material, a new object, and give it, because what I want is to change the material a bit here. So this blue concrete, what I want to do is just make sure that I instance, if I get the object info, because what I want to do is vary the colors a little bit, so I can get a random color, see if it will affect. Let me see, convert color ramp. Constant. I want to vary the colors just a bit. And maybe even add some yellow ones. You can see how we have added some variation. Maybe have this red. So have something like that. I think I can extend this bridge Actually, what I can do is just extend it a little bit, maybe something like this somewhere there. And I have this bridge piece as well, so I can just line it up somewhere. And let's try this material on this. Oh, this on this, control link materials. Doesn't work very well. You can add this bridge somewhere here. Just line things up. And what I'm going to do is just duplicate this wall, get rid of the array, and just give it a slight rotation like that, so that we kind of match it a bit. I want to see if that would work. So we can have something like that. Now this piece misses some of these connections here, but I don't think that is going to matter too much. I'm going to duplicate this, rotate this 180 degrees, and just grab it back. Then I can just use the array. Now these seams here don't look very nice. These seams here don't look too nice. So what I can do is just disguise them with a different texture or a different object. Maybe something like this. A simple tower like that. What are the main languages spoken in Luganda? In Uganda, that's Luganda and English mostly. I'm just going to grab this piece here, just to hope these guys are that part here, and just link at the same materials. Okay, this piece is not too detailed, so let me find a different piece like this that is more detailed. And now you can see how we can get away with that. And this here can be placed somewhere else, maybe around there. And okay, I don't think this piece is necessary. Let's see, if we hide this for a second, if I grab this, yeah, let's add another tower somewhere there, so we can start framing things a bit. Maybe duplicate, have another one here. Or something like that. And I think we can grab this wall here. Let me just make sure it's using the same colors. Or actually, let me just grab something else. Maybe I can grab this piece here. When you paste to a location after moving the cursor to the point, a pie menu shows up. Is that a plugin? No. A pie menu. This, I'm just using Shift S to get the pie menu. Rotate these. Because we want this place to feel rich. So we are going to add a few extra things to do that. I was wondering how you are moving the object so accurately. Yeah, just snapping with the cursor. Sure, this is also using the same material. Then we can bring in the domes. I think a dome blue. Let me bring in that. Have it here. Somewhere there. Yes, have this as well somewhere there. Just move this piece slightly. Now let's go to the camera. Let me just turn on pass out like that so that I can frame things much easier. Now let's work on the lighting. The issue is that the HDRI image I have is a very low resolution. Let me see if I can grab something. Let's try this. Let's try. Nope. Let me rotate the HDRI so that we're not seeing that vegetation. So I'm just going to add some coordinate mapping and rotate this until I'm not seeing the buildings anymore. Sometimes it might even need to rotate this on the x-axis. So we have something like that. Did you create the assets before or they are included in the add-on? No, I created the assets myself. And the add-on is also mine. So if you want it, you can just type in exclamation mark add-ons and that will show you all the add-ons I'm using. Or the add-ons I've created. Okay, so this is where we're at. I think we can start bringing in some volume. Some volumetrics, just so we have, just so we can see some layers, because right now everything seems a bit flat. So I'm just going to go to object, nice asset and add-on. Nice work, thank you Shelly. I'm going to use a shader principal volume. Just here, not going to use any emission, any density. We just use the emission 0.1, 0.001, just so we can separate these layers a bit, things a bit. And I think we can try. So everything looks okay, but the scale is it's really hard to tell the scale of the objects because we don't have anything to show scale like people or trees. So we can create our own trees, but I think I'm just going to use trees from Polygon. From Botanic, which is a nice add-on for things like this. Let me use this palm tree and just add it there. The airship will add dimension to your work. This here. Yeah, we can add that. But, let's first add something for scale, like a tree here. And I'm just going to use one single tree and just rotate it in different areas, because the more polygons you add, the more it's going to be heavy. The scene becomes a bit heavy. Maybe let me use these shorter ones as well. Another thing we can do to emphasize on the scale of the scene, let me try moving the camera first up a bit, so we can see the water more clearly. Okay. I think we need to go back to the world because I'm seeing something I don't want to see. Yeah. So the water, we need to emphasize the blue or the difference here. And another thing we can do is just get an ambient occlusion node. If Blender is hanging on me. So we can get an ambient occlusion node like this. Make sure that ambient occlusion is on. And add a color ramp. Because the reason why we want to do this is get some contact mask, and let me increase the distance to 10. And actually increasing the distance just gives us a nice look. Let's try at 10 again. We want the noise here, and I'm going to use a convert math node. Actually, I need to get directly from the noise. Are the textures of the assets hand painted? No. They're not hand painted. I'm going to increase the value here. Maybe increase the samples. And increase the distance. So you can see that we get a mask. It's not very too visible, but you can see from this angle we have that mask there. And what we can do with that is we can use it as a mask to kind of create this has to be here. Can just make water around, so we have some contact on the surface like that. And you know what? I think this looks far better from this angle because you can see the water. Maybe let me change this to a 30 millimeter. Let's scale the water. Pull this back. Like this. I'm still having some issues with this background here, but I guess I can just get a very large rock like that and just okay, it doesn't really look like a rock, like what I want it to look like. I want it to be like a mountain, but it has too much sharp edges which doesn't really signify how big it is. So I can just use a smooth. I want to see if a smooth shader would help. And I think I need to also extend the camera distance to something like 400. And I'm also just going to go to edit mode, turn on proportional editing. Just edit these things a bit. Just get one quickly from HDRI Heaven. Okay, let me do that maybe. HDRI Heaven. The volumetric is very taxing on PC. Maybe add it at the end. Yeah. I think I should do that. Maybe even don't use it, but try using something different. And I've seen some tricks that we could use. Let me go to HDRI's. Add some more cursors. It will look better. Okay. I use cycles. Cycles is very heavy, too heavy. Maybe we can use this. Let's use this here. It has some nice background, and I think we can use EXR. And yeah. And since we have that, then we won't need this. Yeah. Just make sure that this is downloading. I think it's downloading using Chrome. Okay, I think it's done. So let's get our HDR. I'm going to go back to this. It's in my downloads here. Yeah, let me just reset the rotation. I'm going to give this a slight rotation because I don't want to see that vegetation. If our scene was somewhere like, let me see, if our scene was like this at this angle, maybe we can show some of that terrain. But I think we have to rotate this. Something like that. Now, let's bring back our sun. Bring back our sun. Cycles would be the best option here. And I actually like that shadow cast there. Maybe bring this here. And I like this piece here. That's floating separately, so I can add it somewhere like that. Are you using 2 screens? Yes, I'm using 3 screens. One is just my laptop, and that's why I'm playing the music on. It's really hard to just use one screen when you're streaming. Even 2 screens, you would struggle a bit. Let's see. And another tower here. Create another one. Now the water has lost its reflections for some reason, so let's go back in and preview this noise and see why I'm not seeing any bumps. Oh, what is an EXR texture and why is it better? EXR is just a format that contains more detail than PNG and JPEG. So it just holds more detail than PNG and JPEG, nothing more than that. It's a lossless format. Let me first just use this and see. I want this to be a bit darker. Maybe make the water more detailed. Hello, Sarah. How are you? Saran. And we can start playing with some shadows. We can use a very light shadow as well here. So want a shadow like that, but the issue is that if you're using an HDR light like this, it's very hard to control our lighting. Let me use 20 here. And we need some low frequency detail here, so I'm just going to grab these pieces. I'll rotate it 180 degrees just so we have some extra detail here on the surface. And even just get other pieces. Let me go back to my mega scans, see what other pieces I can get. Rocks. Yes. Get that. Get all of these. Just move them onto this rock. I like that. Thank you for subscribing. Abion Nani. And I'm also just going to go back to the asset library and look for other pieces. Building parts. Let's see what I can use. I think we can just bring in the other things that we have been using here. Let's place this here. And something like this. Have another bigger piece maybe. We can definitely still add more stuff to this. Okay, let me use tower 4. And I can just duplicate this. Just get this, add it somewhere there, just for detail. Just make sure it's using the same material so that it doesn't stand out too much. So this is brick small. And you can get some of these plants and start adding them somewhere. Hey, thank you for subscribing. Can't pronounce your name, but thank you. Let's get another one of these and start placing them in different locations. It's going to really make our scene look pop with these trees like that. And I think we can also grab these pieces here and just put them closer to the bridge. Maybe scale this so it something like that. Actually, what I can do is just come here. And then I can grab some of these trees. And just add them there. Get something like this, add it there. Just for scale, to show how grandiose this is. I think even from this angle, actually, instead of, let me just duplicate this camera and just bring it, now use it as the active camera. Okay. Just grab this piece, and one way to make good shadows, because this plane is not doing it very well, what we can do is just give it a new material and just use a shader, transparency shader. I'll get rid of this diffuse. I like that. Make sure that we have blending mode turned on, and for the transparency we can use texture. Actually, I can just go to my texture folders and look for skies, I think. Let me link my skies folder. And what I want is to get a cloud like this. It would be great if it has an alpha channel, so I'm just going to import this in. Those blue gold parts can be more metallic, right? Yeah, they can be metallic. I think actually we can make them metallic and see. But let me first get, okay, let's do that maybe. Just going to create a new material, and they use this concrete material. So all we have to do is just make them metallic. Let's see if I think it's better with metallic like that. I still think the flags on the bridge are a little bit too big. Sure. Okay, let me scale them. Yeah, maybe size them at something like that. And what I'm loving about this is that this is starting to look from every angle except from this side, which we can fix by just duplicating this rock and just extending it this side. Yeah, so we were working on the shadow here. Yeah, the metallic look looks nicer. Okay. We'll go with that. So I was working on the shadow, which I can't. Okay, so this is here. So we have this cloud, but it doesn't have any alpha channel. What we can do is just use a convert separate RGB, so that we get our channel from the blue channel. I'm just going to use a car ramp here to control the mask bit. Since this is going to be just since this is going to just create a shadow for us, it doesn't really have to be super. And I think I'm gonna need to invert this. And we can use clip for the shadow. And just so I don't know, let me just use a shader diffuse because I don't like how this looks here. It's going to blend this. And then we don't even need the invert anymore. We just have to switch the two like this. And you can have something like that for the shadow. Let's try alpha clip. So the shadow can be moved around, and you can make it even softer in some areas. Let's try alpha clip again. I think we're just going to go with alpha blend, and we don't want this to be visible to the camera. So let's try clip. But we don't want this piece to be visible to the camera, so I'm just going to go under here and visibility, turn it to wireframe. And make sure that's, oh, actually needs to be shadow, it needs to be textured, but non-visible to the camera, non-visible in render. Yo, thank you for subscribing. Sorry, I can't pronounce the name, but is it Savant? So this I'm just going to bring up, and we can also set the sun to use a softer shadows, maybe 2, like that. Yeah, okay, well, impressive, man. You could just show the full node setup for the cloud. So the cloud is just yeah, this is nothing much. Another thing we can do is I can grab this wall here. I can grab this wall, rotate it 90 degrees, just have it somewhere here. And what I'm going to do is, because I want to create some kind of a street level, and actually what I'm going to do is just get rid of the mirror and just extend this piece like that in. Just extend this piece like that. And what we are going to do is, let me first get rid of this cloud because it's kind of blocking my vision. It would be nice to see the cloud animated. Okay, we can do that. Nice shadow. I was using a volumetric cloud in my project. Yeah, volumetrics can be quite computer intensive, so that's why I try to avoid them. I just want to have kind of a platform that goes around this, so something like that. So I can use this and just deform it to the curve object like that. And I think I'm just extend this out. Maybe let me try bringing the water level a bit down, and then bring this down so we can extend this bridge like that. Just grab some of these. We can grab this piece here. And we can also just have these palm trees lined up here. Even these small ones. Yes. Like that. Okay. Okay, where are my collections? Do you do Shift D or Alt D when duplicating? I use Alt D to duplicate the instances. Okay, so I've lost the bridge somewhere. Let me first undo this and see. Okay, get back to this. Yeah. Yeah, so that means I also want to extend these. And the water level to be down, so this should also be down. So therapeutic watching this. Thank you. And here is a very important tip. You can set in Blender how many undos you can do. Normally it's set to 30. I always set mine to around 200. Yeah, because I was trying to undo to get this back, and my undos I think got finished. That's not something I usually mess with. I haven't messed with the undos a lot. But 100 undos, that's undoing a lot of your work, I think. You end up undoing a lot of your work. But yeah, it could also be useful, very useful actually. So yes. Yeah, but you can go back because sometimes you need to go back. Yeah, that's true, that's true. And it sucks when the undo has a complete, you have run out of undos just one step away from what you wanted to get back to. So more undos is definitely useful. I think I'm going to reduce the scale of this dome just a bit, so we can have some large pieces. You can make this as tall or as large as you want. Let me see if I have a cloud. If we put a cloud, start putting clouds somewhere. But I think they need to be more transparent or less transparent. You like the big dome? Okay. So right now things look like they're a single layer, but I think what we can do is add a plane like this. I'm just going to reorient it and add a new material and just give it a principal volume. So shader, or you can even just get a gradient, a texture gradient, connect it directly into the volume, and let's see how that looks. Let's just use a shader principal volume and just use this as the emission strength. Let me look at how this gradient looks. Should go up, or we can even just use the object separate XY, convert separate XY. So get the object input, that's the X, that's the Y. Now I can just use a math node to reposition this, and even or a multiply to multiply this, and we can just set this to be the emission strength, and it's inverted right now, so you need to use a multiply by -1 to invert this. And density should be 1, it should be 0. Anyway, look at this. Let's first add to this. Trying to make some volumetric make this look a bit foggy. Maybe just reduce, maybe add just to make the fog look a little bit. Now it looks like a cloudy city. Let me first get rid of that. We can add the fog using using a Z depth. And if we make this a duplicate, we can find a different cloud. Yeah, so it seems I have only one cloud here, which is unfortunate, but we could switch these a bit. Just need to play with the sun now. Okay, I don't know why this is not casting any shadows anymore. Let's use alpha clip. And just move this around. Now we can play with the sun. Turn on screen space reflections, turn on bloom. Just want this piece to have something as well. Yo, thank you for subscribing. And that's Lungu Arnold. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, let's add in some camera motion. Yo, thank you. Bytes. Yeah, sorry for the wrong pronunciation, but thank you for subscribing as well. I want to add some camera motion here. Hello, Satosh Kuma. How are you? Glad to see you back. How was everything? Let me try 25 millimeter for this camera. And looks nice. Thank you. Now we can even animate the clouds. Just give them a slight motion. Yo, thank you for subscribing, Meg Jivori. Thank you. Yo, thank you, Path Salien, for subscribing as well. So some clouds like that. Just give them some okay, Nightbot is becoming harsh again, so I'm seeing that zigzag your messages are being removed, but sorry about that. I don't know why Nightbot can be harsh sometimes for no reason. So I think one thing that we are missing is these small buildings. So maybe we can extend the shores. If I turn off this. Yeah, Nightbot is back again with his harshness. You need to scale the water a bit, like make it more what? Scale it to make it larger, or scale it to be smaller. Clouds look 2D, yeah, because they are 2D. We can try to fix them later. Let me see. Thank you for subscribing. I can't pronounce your name, but thank you. Let me also grab this piece. So you're saying the noise should be scaled down or scaled up? So let's try 100. So you don't see so you don't see the scale. It's like the earth is flat. I see. So you mean you want this to be scaled? So the reason why it starts to, you can't really scale it enough to make it, unless if you make the water into a sphere. at some point it starts to look flat like that. So the only way to fix that is to add what is it called? Actually, let me see what we can do to fix to make sure that we don't see the water clipping. Is add a gradient that cuts off the water somewhere and fades it into the clouds. But yeah, the cloud looks 2D. We could use something like we could use volumetrics, but that also has its own issues. It's hard to add more towers, I think. YouTube is known to your likes and chat count. Zigzag, I'm not sure what you mean. Let's see, can we make this? Okay. We can make this, but we can make the shape, but it kind of looks like it requires a lot of time to make. Let me see, what else can we do without spending too much time? I think we can get a few of these. Just have a few duplicates of these, and we can see if they will add anything. Can you animate the shadow of the cloud over the city? I think I can do that. And the easiest way to animate that is just to animate the sun. So let's animate the sun. Like that. And I think this island is too deserted, and there is no reason for it to be. So let's add some pieces here. You can add some birds in the sky. It looks more empty. Yeah, I think we can do that. Let me first see. Birds in the sky, birds in the sky. How can we do birds in the sky? Birds in the sky, can we make them flap? Yeah, I think we can, to make the birds, you can start with a plane. You just need something that flaps its wings. So maybe, and just mirror this on the y-axis. Okay, now the bird, let me try this. Birds from scratch. I'm not going to create a full bird. I'm just, yeah, something that should work here. It's only shows 2 people in chat. You have a lot of more than that. Yeah, most people don't really like to chat. Some just want to lurk in the, just like to watch, which is okay. Let me just grab an edge like this. So what we want is something that would look like a bird. It doesn't really have to, because all we need is a silhouette of the bird. Yes, mirror on the Y. So that's going to be our bird. Now, what I can do is just select. Let me see, how am I going to animate this? Because we need it to be animated. I think we can just grab an empty and add it somewhere there. Just grab this piece, select the empty and this piece, Ctrl H, and hook to object like that. And now, actually, not this, not this. Select this, hook, Ctrl H, hook to selected object. That way we have something like that for the bird. So for that, I'm just going to give this some animation. I'm pretty sure that is just a fish with wings. Yeah, this is a Disney kind of city, so yeah, fish with wings can exist. So our fish is going to flap its birds like that. That's actually a smart idea for with the bird. Actually, a smart idea with the bird. Yeah, it's adding something for the birds up there as birds is going to. It can also take away focus from some places that are not well done. So if you have something else to confuse other person, it should also help. So this is being rotated on the y-axis. So let's do that. Let's want to rotate this on the X. So I'm just going to give this a noise modifier. So noise, you can see it's flapping its wings, but very slightly. I'm just going to give the scale 5, let's say 10, 50. The strengths can be 2.5, and maybe the scale can be 25, and the depth. Actually, the best way is not to use noise. It's just to animate this ourselves and just use a cycle modifier like that. We don't want this to go too far. Just scale this down like that. Where can new subscribers post their artwork? Subscribers post their artwork. You can go to Discord, to the Discord. Just type in !Discord to get that. So this is going to be our bird, and you can see from far away. I don't think it looks like a fish from far away. So let's yeah, it can be white, and then to add it to our scene, we just have to add something like a cube here, and just use a particle system. This time Ian Herbert has a good tutorial about this, so you just use, I think it's voids to get that random movement, and I'll change the lifetime to 250. Now also, let's, as we are working on this, let's just, where is my scene? Just grab this. Just get rid of all the keyframes that we are not using for the bird. Now I think we don't want any location keyframes and any scale keyframes, and this can be parented to the object. So we want the flock of birds to be so to go from here to here as the camera is moving. So I want it to pass everything like that. So we can go to the particle system and get our bird, so which is here. So render, under render, select object, and then select we want this here. Now I'm not sure if you can see them here, but let's first have them at that scale. Randomize the scale, and the emitter, we don't need it to be visible. You can see there are quite too many, so let's go under the particle system, change to something like 200. Now maybe let's make them dark so that we can see their silhouette. Are you guys able to see them? Because I can see them now. And let's go back to the particle system. And turn on advanced. For the source, we can go under random. You can see them? Good. You think 50 is okay? Okay, let's try 50 and see. And I'll go to the particle behavior. So movement, allow flight, allow minimum speed can be 1, acceleration can go up, personal space, let's go, we want flock, we want avoid collision, and we want follow leader. And we can use the cube itself as the leader. which is they're not following very fuzzy. I think we can just they can all be emitted at once. And you can see they're now trying to follow the cube like that. What is this? What's this be? What this be on your Patreon? Oh, will this be on my Patreon? Yes, sir. Yes, I will. Usually, you just have to request any projects because I don't want to just post everything I have. I want the projects to be requested, and then I can send them instead of just have me sending them. So Boyd's, let's see, airspeed. Let's try. Yeah, so airspeed of 100. And I think I can just have the follow the leader below this because I want. Actually, let me make sure that it's up. Yeah, so something like that. Which render engine do you prefer? Well, Cycles for realism, but Eevee for fast speeds and streaming because whatever I'm doing can be visible as I'm working here. Love to play with animation. Yeah. Let's see, what else can we do? Let's give this a render. I'm going to go into, I want very low contrast. I use OpenAXR, full resolution, RGBA, zip buffer, and let's see what else. We also want we want to do some compositing. We want to light the everything. Let's just do everything here. The bloom, cryptomat, object cryptomat, and material cryptomat. Let's see what else. For the lights, I want very low contrast so that we can add our own colors. What else can we add here? I think the speed of these has to be turned down a bit, maybe 50. And I'm just going to go to, I want to add in some characters. I'll go to the asset library. I want to get to my Megascan under collections. I have some characters. Let me get this character, add him to the bridge. And just duplicate him a few times. Add safe. A safe? Like what kind of safe? Add in a few characters. Keep soldiers, it looks good. Okay, thank you. try putting some sheen for the buds, like 3 or 5 sheen. Let me get, okay, some sheen, 3 or 5. Not sure what that does exactly, but yeah. The background feels empty on one more side of the island. On the right side. On the right side. You mean this side? Let's try adding one of these mountains. Maybe something like that. They just look different in light with sheen because every fabric and leather and feather have sheen. Okay. Let's give this a render when the birds are around the middle there. Just change the sample to something 200. And hopefully Blender doesn't crash or the stream. Okay. The mouse, if you see the mouse moving, it means Blender hasn't crashed on me. But this render can take a few moments. But let me see. Blender and beyond. Yeah, another thing. The previous live stream before we created this concept art was this here. And I just did a post. Let me just share that with you as the render comes in. I just created a post just showing you the progress we made as so we started trying to make a medieval scene, but we ended up with a scene like this here. Ended up with this. So if you want to check that out, you can go to the link that I've just added here. So here we are with the render. I can see the birds. This. So let's go to the compositor and see if okay, Blender is crashing. Let's go to the compositor. I need to make sure that I have this open. Go to the compositor. I forgot. If Blender crashes, then you would have to render again, which is a bummer. Let's try to see how this looks in cycles. Let's see how this looks in cycles. Just switch cycles here. change to CPU so we can use some denoising. It looks good, I think. Just bring back the contrast. Just set it to. Try opening the last autosave. Well, the last autosave I don't think renders the saves the image, the rendered image, and that's what I wanted. This seems to be floating. So we could extend. No, you know what? Let me try something here. I'm just going to grab this piece. Let's first go to edit mode here. Grab this piece and decimate it so that it doesn't have a lot of polygons. So let me go to wireframe, solid. Let me see. Seems I'm getting a warning from YouTube. It's nothing. Anyway, so I want to first decimate this piece. Decimate. So we reduce the number of polygons on it. And the reason why I'm doing this, because I want to populate a bigger portion of the city of what we have on here. So I'm just going to use so here I'm going to use a hair instance like this. First apply the scale, apply the rotation like this, and I want to use I want to use a collection. So let's go to render collection. Let's use the tower, and for the rotation, turn on advanced and change the rotation to global Y like that, and the scale can be set to 1. That's what we would have, but I want a bunch of these. Let's try a different collection. Have these. I think maybe this here, small building, could be what we use. So object, and I'm just going to select this. I only need a few of these. And randomize the scale, randomize the rotation. That's not. And we only want. Hi, what is your PC specs? Just type in ! specs to get other specs. Actually, instead of using particle instance, because I'm not getting what I want, I'm just going to, let me go back to the render preview here. Just going to grab this, just rotate it and place it in different places just as isolated small buildings. And maybe grab this dome, have it placed somewhere, maybe a combination of these. You can even grab this piece, maybe this as well, duplicate it. Like have a kind of a secondary city somewhere there. Just grab this. Just isolated places like that. Can even grab this, just move it there. Let's see if we create a really large dome. You know, it seems the more domes you add, the better this thing look. So let's make it ridiculously. Okay, maybe that's too much. Maybe somewhere like that. Bro, I doubt over the EV render. Bro, I have doubt over the EV render and its bloom effect. Okay, I'm not sure what you... I can't seem to understand what you mean. Sometimes it works fine, sometimes I get a sloppy effect, but all the settings are default. Well, the bloom effect can depend on the scene itself, so those are my specs, Felina, if you are still interested in knowing. Is total game asset for city? I think I can extend this way back. So that's our composition today. I wanted to give it a render and do some compositing, but it seems my PC can't really handle it. So that's what it's going to be for now. So tomorrow we can have the same live stream, but I will try something different. But yeah, I think this came out looking nice, and the good thing is that you can even look at this from different angles, and it will still, I think, look good. Even the top view can work. Our flying fish are looking down instead of looking where they're flying, but that's okay. They're fish flying, so that's already impressive. Okay, Nightbot is acting up again, but there is nothing to do. I guess since we are closing out the stream, I'm not going to bother. Can you explain the bloom effect? Well, the bloom effect just finds very bright pixels in your area and just adds a bloom effect. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't have a different way to explain that. Just makes it bloomy. Nightbot is a bitch. Yeah, it's kinda is. Even held but that one was YouTube holding back your comment. Zigzag. Anyway, I'm going to end the live stream here before Nightbot bans everyone, including myself. So yeah, thank you for watching.